Living Local Carolina with Katie Turner. Local trends, shopping, dining, and more. This is Living Local Carolina.
This segment is sponsored by Palm Mechanics. Well, good morning and thanks for joining us today again on Living Local Carolina. Today I'm joined again by Matt Dix. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Now, you're the owner of Palm Mechanics and you're working on a job today. It's right behind us. Look at this beautiful palm tree that you guys have been working on.
Yes, ma'am. We are actually doing some diamond cuts on some Pendo palms, as well as some full service on some Palmetto palms. We work with all species of palms, just get them in a thriving state.
Love it. So the reason why we're doing this segment today is we wanted to be able to show what the process looks like whenever you actually come out to somebody's house and work on these trees. What are some reasons why your customers have called Palm Mechanics instead of trying to do this themselves?
One of the bigger reasons we find is lack of knowledge to the types of palm trees they have and how to care for them properly. Another real big reason is not having the proper tools. You know, we don't use chainsaws on our palm trees. We've spent years dialing in our handcrafted process. Another big reason is ladders. You know, some of these trees can get pretty tall and sketchy. Not to mention the amount of debris that come off of these trees. Transportation issues, no way to really haul this stuff away. Any of those reasons, we're here to help.
And we were looking at some of these palm fronds earlier. Is that what they're called?
These are actually boots.
The boots.
Yes, ma'am.
He's all about the education, y'all.
Yes, ma'am. Let me grab
Show me one of these
for
boots. This is why you shouldn't try to do it yourself. You're gonna get hurt.
These things can be pretty messy, pretty rough. If you'll notice, there's spikes on the side here that can cut you, have you bleeding. Also, you'll notice how it's real wet right here. These things actually act as a pocket holding the dirt, creating extra moisture issues, the bugs, the germination. So with us cutting these off, it's a diamond cut, cleaning these trunks up, we basically eliminate those pockets for the pest and get the tree overall just easier to look at and work with.
And I've said this before, but once you see what a good palm tree looks like, you never go back. He has ruined palm trees for me. Whenever I drive around, I know if he's done a palm tree or not. Because, I mean, look at this. It's ridiculous. It looks so much better. And it really just makes you happy to go in your yard.
It does. It does. Thank you.
All right, so you mentioned this before, but you guys do not use chainsaws for a number of reasons. What are some of those reasons?
One of the biggest reasons, really, this is just an example. This side here has been cut with a chainsaw. Looks like you put a beaver in the tree and let him chew on it.
It does.
This side here, super clean, easier to work with. That's our cut. It just makes a big difference on the tools you use and how to care for these trees properly. Tools is the big thing.
And it also gives you the freedom to be able to do these jobs, you know, later at night or early in the morning. We're not making hardly any noise right now, and it's pretty early.
Absolutely. We do night jobs. Some of our motels, when the pools close at night, we go in and we're able to do all of that. First thing in the morning, we kind of slide in, extremely quiet. All the tools we use don't make noise.
Love it. So if somebody's watching right now and they have a palm that they want you to come check out, what are the options on how they can get that taken care of?
We tried our best to make this process as easy as possible. Like most others, we do a on-site free evaluation estimate. And for some of our busier customers, I'd say, we have an online option. You can send us photos of the trees or trees you have concerns about, and we can do an evaluation that way. Basically, you can send us a photo via text, email. You can send us a photo online at our website, Facebook Messenger. Whatever's easiest for you, send those photos in. We'll give an evaluation, shoot you a price that same day. If that's something that we can lock in together, then we'll go ahead and get you set on the schedule. We have a new website, that's palmmechanics843.com, or you can give us a call at 843-455-4456.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
Well, welcome back to Living Local Carolina. Today I'm joined in studio by Becky from the Champion Autism Network. Becky, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Tell me, how did you get involved with CAN in the first place?
I created CAN.
Okay.
So I have a son who's high functioning on the spectrum. We relocated here from the South Jersey area 11 years ago. And you know, there's all these wonderful organizations that support the person with autism, you know, therapies and speech and ABA, but there's nothing for the family. Mm-hmm. And so we started in 2013 with our sensory friendly movies. People came out to them and they were so excited to be somewhere where everybody got it and understood. They asked what else was there. So we took surveys and collected data, and we started a training program for restaurants because that was the number one thing our parents wanted to do. So we started to educate restaurants, and then I was like, okay, if you're gonna, like I said, invite the autism world to come out and play, everybody needs to know how to treat them and what's going on. So the travel initiative started in 2016, and that's when we became a 501c3 and incorporated, and we've just been kind of off and running ever since.
You're really covering all the bases though, from the educational standpoint to actually just providing them something to do. But from your standpoint, what has it felt like being able to actually educate somebody that had no idea what autism was? How does that feel to you as a mom too?
It's really wonderful and refreshing, you know, and it's not embraced by everybody or every business, and that's okay, right? We're just happy that most businesses and people in the community feel it's the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. And really, it's not rocket science. Generally speaking, you know, you just have to kind of lead with love, and like in a restaurant or pretty much anywhere, if you have light switches and a volume control, you're halfway there in supporting people. Then it's just learning tips and tricks about, you know, what to do, how to treat people, these autism families in your restaurants or your stores or at your resorts, and you know what kind of support they might need, and then what to look out for in case there's a runner or an eloper, how to handle that situation.
A little patience goes a long way too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, this is a bit of a different setting today. I am joined once again by Miss Cookie. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. I said it, but where are we standing right now?
We are in the home of the infamous Charlie Fitzgerald. Charlie and Sarah Fitzgerald. Mr. Charlie was the owner, creator of Charlie's Place that was established in 1937 in Myrtle Beach. One young lady that I will like to share some information about. Do you know what the state dance is, South Carolina?
The Shag, of course.
The Shag. I will introduce you to Cynthia Shag Harrell.
Oh.
Who would teach the white kids the fancy steps.
Oh yeah.
They would take it back and add more, change it up a little bit, and so it is known as the Carolina Shag. And I did learn that one of the reasons that it became, you know, so popular is because of segregation. Like Shag couldn't go anywhere and make it known, you know, but the white kids could. So they came and learned from her and took it back to their respective places. So yeah, history has it, or the spoken history has it, that the Shag was born at Charlie's Place.
I love it. If somebody was really interested and wanted to see Charlie's Place and learn a little bit more, how can they do that?
Yes. So in order to schedule a tour, we have it set on Tuesdays and Fridays. But sometimes people come into town and, you know, the hours of operation, you know, doesn't fit their schedule. So if they would just call us at Neighborhood Services, 843-918-1062 or 843-918-1056 to schedule a tour. We also host lots of family reunions, and so I love that, and it is so wonderful to see them you know, when they come and when we do the history, we'll do the tour as a part of the family reunion, the historical part. So, yeah.
This segment is sponsored by Little River Medical Center. Well, I am just so excited to be back at Little River Medical Center today. I am in a very different office. We are in Peds with Dr. Reiser. How are you doing?
That's right, I'm doing fantastic. This is our adolescent room here, so welcome.
This is where you would come if you wanted to get a well check. So tell me all about well checks here at Little River and why kids should get them.
Great question. So wellness checks are something that happens on a regular basis for children and teens and young adults, and the goal of them is for us to do basically a health maintenance, you know, to check in and ensure that you're doing well, identify any areas that might need some tweaking, and to also field questions or issues that may have occurred that you haven't quite yet gotten around to bringing up. And so when it comes to like when and where and all of that, it varies a bit by the person's age and their health status. So if we're talking about a completely healthy individual, at the newborn period, once they're discharged from the hospital, a few days later, we'll usually see it in clinic. Following that, they're fairly frequently, every month, every 2 months, every 3 months, and then by the time you turn 3, we're doing it once a year, and it continues that way furthermore. At those checkups, we're doing things such as measuring your weight, your height or length, your head circumference, so ensuring proper brain growth, proper hormonal systems, proper nutrient intake and output. So we're identifying things like obesity, or I had one patient with type 2 diabetes, that got picked up on a wellness check. Shots are given there, or immunizations, which help keep kids healthy before they get exposed to germs. And so they get their vaccines at a predictable period. We follow the CDC schedule throughout the first couple of years, and then a little more spaced out afterwards. We do vision and hearing assessments. We also do behavioral assessments, both in terms of the child's development, their gross motor skills, sitting, standing, walking, fine motor skills like ability to feed oneself, not to be choking and such, language skills, autism assessments. All those things are done and can really help us help families get their kids the best outcomes in life.
And speaking of development, you guys have a program called Reach Out and Read that helps a lot of different families.
Yes, the Reach Out and Read program is one geared towards our younger families. It's one of a number of services we offer. We offer it to all the kids, so it goes between birth and 5 years of age, and it is a book giving, sharing, enjoying program where kids will get a book at their various wellness checks during that time period, and where we really kind of set them up for a happy experience with reading, which is something that a lot of people don't come from. It becomes from a forced experience of I had to read. It was a chore. Might have been strong at it, might not have been so great at it. So we try to make it fun for them. And we also use it for a bit in terms of like developmental surveillance and to highlight both strengths or identify some challenges their kids may be having.
All right, so if somebody is interested in joining the program, getting a book, how do they do that?
Thankfully, they just have to make an appointment. And so if you come in for your regular checkup, that's something that we will do. And we will introduce that to them at the appropriate age, and we do it throughout that time period. It sort of ends at 5, with the idea being that at that point you're in the school system, and so there's regular trips to the library and other things. But oftentimes we'll still give kids books at their other checkups or their siblings' books. It might not be part of the ROR program, but it's along the same vein. So we keep other books, and kids will ask us. I had a kid over the weekend, they were like, hey, can I get a book? Can I get a book for sick visit? I was like, yeah, absolutely. Let's go to the library and pick out something that you like. Because again, the goal and the idea is for it to be something that's fun and they can grow with.
Come to the doctor, you leave with a book.
That's right, yes,
I like
yeah.
it.
When I was a kid, it was always a lollipop, And I'm really not a fan of candy. We see a ton of cavities and all the diabetes for early kids. I know, boring, right? You're like that guy.
We still wearing your sunscreen and your seatbelt guy over here.
Right?
I know. I love it though. I mean, you love what you do. I can tell.
Absolutely,
You're really
yeah.
passionate about this.
Yes. Stickers, toys, books, a lot of ways that you can make a visit more enjoyable. So yeah, that's how it goes.
Don't forget to like our page on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. How to use the QR code. Just open the camera app on your smartphone, iPad, or tablet. Point your device at the QR code so the QR code appears on your screen. Your device will recognize the QR code and show you a notification. Click that notification and you'll come to our website. Living Local Carolina, weekday mornings at 9:30 on WBTW News 13.